So now we're going to shift gears a little bit more by discussing ethics of care. The one thing that our moral theories to date that we've discussed have in common is that they were created by men. Okay, utilitarianism, Kantian morality, virtue theory, all advocated for, all developed by men. Philosophy, in large part, has been a male-dominated field of study since the beginning. There have been philosophers in history who have completely discounted the possibility that women would be able to offer up anything in regards to philosophical ideas. Likewise, there are men in philosophical history who have believed that women have something worth saying, worth hearing to contribute. When we discuss ethics in regards to the feminine voice, we look at feminist ethics. And Carol Gilligan is a common face of feminist ethics. Once upon a time, this isn't really a story like that. This is an actual true story. In the 50s, I think it was, a gentleman by the name of Lawrence Kohlberg developed a study. He wanted to understand how people develop morally, okay? What's involved in the moral development of human beings. To this end, he studied different age, different socioeconomic status, different cultures of boys. So boys of all age, of socioeconomic status, boys in different cultures and different countries, he studied them to figure out how they developed morally. Well, what he concluded was that in the early stages, young childhood, sort of looking like 3, 4, boys are first and foremost concerned with self-preservation. They want to stay out of trouble. Okay, they're going to do what they can to follow the rules, but if they don't follow the rules, they're going to lie so that they don't get into trouble. If you have children, you've spent much time around children, you'll know that in that 3, 4 age is where kids start telling little fibs so that they don't get in trouble. Well, as the children grow older, they move into the 10 to 13 age range. They want to be seen as good people, and they start to follow the rules. They work to do what they're supposed to do. And as they grow into adults, they develop a mentality, Kohlberg said, that equates the laws of society or the rules of society with moral principles. Some, not a lot, but some will move beyond that even, to that level where they can consider morality abstractly. They can consider the abstract moral principles rather than merely the laws of society. So he completed this study. He said, this is, I've seen how boys develop morally. And then he extrapolated that girls do the same thing. You catch the problem? He didn't actually study girls. He studied boys and said girls must do the same thing. Well, in the 1970s, Gilligan, confronted with a collapse of her dissertation project, went to Kohlberg's study and decided to do one of her own. And she studied boys and girls. She discovered that Kohlberg was dead on right about boys. self-preservation, following the rules, moral principles are the same as societal rules, and with any luck, they reach that highest level where they can think abstractly about morality. Girls, on the other hand, don't work the same way. Girls start off the same way as boys. Sure, at 3, 4, it's about self-preservation and not getting in trouble. But when they reach that 10 to 13 year age, they are more focused, Gilligan says, on morality as a relationship between people. And they are concerned with how people are getting along, how actions affect those relationships. As they grow older, they are caught in a cycle where they are struggling to take care of other people. They have kids at this point. They may have aging parents or grandparents that need help, but they're struggling to also care for themselves. With any luck, some women reach the highest level where they find that balance. They find a way to care for other people and yet care for themselves as well. Basically, what we discover is that Gilligan finds that there's a difference between gender moral perspectives. The male moral perspective is one of impartiality and justice. When she asked her 10-year-old boys and girls about, the famous moral example about, a guy's wife is dying and he can't afford the medication, so he considers breaking into the pharmacy to steal the medication. When she poses this scenario to the boys, they were black and white. He either should break in and steal the medication or he shouldn't break in. It was impartial, it was justice-oriented, it was black and white. But the female moral perspective is different. The girls, when confronted with this scenario, asked questions, wanted to know about the pharmacist, wanted to know about the wife's illness, wanted to discuss the possibility of compromise. The female moral perspective is one of connectedness and relatedness between individuals. Female moral perspective is more focused on the circumstances, the people involved. The female moral perspective, Gilligan says, finds those shades of gray. It's not just black and white, but there are all these shades of gray in between, and the female moral perspective considers the moral behavior within those shades of gray.